Welcome back from our news, and I hope that you are ready because this week we have an award-winning actress, Wunmi Dada. Wunmi was born in Lagos. She's a graduate of the University of Lagos Theatre Arts, one of the very few people who are doing this job and who is properly trained.
What came in legally, you mean?
Okay. Wunmi began an acting career in 2013 and since established herself as a versatile actress in both the Yoruba and English film. She's known for her dynamic performance in Nollywood and her work has earned her recognition. Before acting, Wunmi did some soap operas. She also worked as a voiceover artist and as she tried her hands in modeling. Currently, Wunmi's movie Suspicion, which premiered on Amazon on November 28th, is currently getting some rare reviews, and she's also in the highly anticipated Everybody Loves Jennifer. I'm sure that if you love Nollywood, you probably would have seen the trailer. You probably would have seen different skits and things being used to promote the movie. And just 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
She won Best Actress for her role in Unknown Soldier in at the Best of Nollywood Award. She actually had 2 nominations in that category.
No, the film had.
No, I'm talking about for the Best Actress.
Okay.
Yes.
She was nominated for Best
Ada
Actress
Omodadi.
in Ada Omodadi. I remember that when they mentioned her name, before they mentioned the film. Mercy, I thought she won in
Yeah.
Ada Omodadi. She was
Yes.
about to stand up before they now mentioned Unknown Soldier. First, let's start. Unknown Soldier is not yet out. A lot of people don't know Unknown Soldier was just submitted. You understand? How did you get the role in Unknown Soldier? How did you?
Okay, first thing, Mr. Shim, thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to being here, and I'm happy that finally we're doing this. So, Unknown Soldier is produced and directed by Mr. Mark Adibesi. I had worked with him for the first time sometime in Abuja, I think 2 years ago. So he had told me that he had this project he wanted to work on. So he came back from the UK. Then he sent me the script and he told me he wanted me to play Shade. And for some weird reasons, honestly, God just has a beautiful sense of humor. For some weird reasons, I felt like Shade wasn't going to challenge me so much, honestly. I felt like because she was a wife who was robbed and was pregnant, was a huge support system to her husband, and all that, she was killed, and the film takes up from there. And then there was this detective. I had been looking forward to playing a detective so bad. Even though the detective wasn't the leading female, I wanted to play this detective so bad. So I told Mr. Mark, can I play this detective character? He was like, no, I want you to play Shadi because I know that you're just my perfect Shadi. I said, yes, I understand, and thank you for this trust you have in me. But this detective, I would really love to, play detective and all of that. He said, oh, well, he had already cast someone for the detective character, blah, 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 blah. So it was either taking up Shade or dropping the script completely. So I said, okay, no problem. Shade has her challenges. I just wanted a different, I wanted the challenge to go a different direction. But yes, we got on set, I played it. And honestly, I didn't even think I was going to win. That's why I said God has an amazing sense of humor. But that was how I got Shade on Unknown Soldier.
Okay. So, you said you always wanted to play the role of a detective in a film.
I had never played
You
that
had
character
never played-
before,
you had
yes.
never played it,
No.
And you're still looking forward to playing it.
Yes, I
Is
am.
it as a result of the advent of the kind of films that are coming out of Nollywood now? I mean modern films. There's a lot of crime, there's a lot of thriller coming out now that didn't used to be so much in play. Is it because of that, or is it something you always wanted to be as a child?
No, I've never wanted to be a police officer or anything like that. But, for me, it's all about playing different characters, versatility, going beyond stretching my boundaries, stretching my talent, to being different characters, one story at a time. So I know that I haven't played a police officer or a detective. Like I haven't played so many other characters as well. So when this came on my table, I was like, okay, I would like to play this. But the truth is, our stories now are, I think, way more relatable than they used to be. Way back then, it was just a boy meets girl kind of story we used to do, and you have one kind of same love story, different titles, and all of that. But now, I think we're being very true to our society, and we're not scared to tell our stories the way it is, even if some people will be upset with the outcome of the story being told, because it will literally be naked with our stories. So I think that yes, our stories and the kind of stories we tell has evolved. So yeah, but we've always had detectives and movies. I've just never had to play.
Before we go to talk about Suspicion and Everybody
Loves Jennifer,
I'd like to take you back. One of the first films that you made that a lot of people, for example, that I knew you not as an actress.
Yes.
So one of the films that made me to know that, Wunmi has talent was Biodun Jimoh's movie.
Oh, wow. Somewhere in the Dark.
Somewhere in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the role you played was also not a role that was
regular.
Conventional.
You understand? You were still very young in the industry when you played that role,
yes,
and very less experienced than you are now. How was it playing that role, and how did you feel playing the role?
I think that from the moment I knew I wanted to be an actor, I knew what I wanted to do with my career. For me, being an actor is like, I'm really not interested in playing fine girl and all that. I just want to show my talent to the world. And I'd been very intentional with the kind of stories I take, the kind of movies I appear in, the kind of characters that I play. And as far back as when we did Somewhere in the Dark, I wasn't even this big, but as far back as then, I was always turning down scripts. My dad would tell me that if you don't know where you're going to, every path will look like the way. So I wouldn't be involved in some productions. I would read some script and I would know that, no, I don't want to do this. Sometimes if the director asks me, what do you think? I would say, okay, this is what I think. I think we can make it better, because no work of art really is perfect. So when Biodun Jimoh reached out to me and we had a sit down, myself, him, Gabriel, and I think Jumoke, we had a sit down. We read the script and we were like, let's talk about these characters. So we all had input on, okay, how to make our individual characters better, how to make the film as a collective better. It was very stressful. I think it was the first time I was filming in Abeokuta. It was very sunny, but I loved the story and it was something very different. At this point, it wasn't even about the money. I can't remember how much he paid me. But it wasn't anything about the money. It was basically putting the talent out there in a very good production, in a good product. And I'm happy the film went ahead to winning AMVCA. Yes. And but it was very, very challenging. It was very different. It was the first time I was seeing what's this man? He's relocated now. Oh goodness.
Chris.
No. He's funny, but the man is funny. It was the first time I was kind of working with a lot of Yoruba actors. Okay. And the film was also scary. Okunu, exactly. He's such a pleasant man. And, it was the first time I was doing a film like that. Sometimes we would get on set and, the lighting design and everything, even we were scared. The makeup already made Gabriel look really scary, and then you're seeing him in a room like that. Even we were scared filming, but we know that, once you say cut, Gabriel is already just in with us. So I can imagine what it would have felt like, for the audience, but it was challenging. There was this deserted house we shot, and there was this man, he's not Alakwini, and he had to start summoning some spirits. Even while we were filming, me, I was just speaking in tongues, like, because we were also filming in the middle of the night, because I mean, production gets you from morning to night. So we were doing this thing in this scary house, deserted house that we had built our set in, and it was supposed to be invoking spirit. I was just making mad. It was so tired. I don't know what is in the environment. We're in some village. I just had to activate my church girl, but it was a beautiful experience, but a scary one.
Okay. I noticed that after that you did 1 or 2 Yoruba movies. You did some with Bogumbe.
Yes.
Did
Majele.
Majele. Did you deliberately stop Yoruba movies, or the script stopped coming, or they could not afford your bill?
That's another one.
The scripts actually never stopped coming. Like I would say, it's always about the story. The story has to get me. Like if you see Majele, or if you've watched it, the story was very different. It was just quite sad that some things happened in post-production and he couldn't take it to the cinema. It was a film that while he was filming it, I kept telling Bogumbe, this film, you can't take it to the cinema. It's great. And at this point, right, Yoruba films had not even started going upscale, like large scale, like that. Yoruba films had not started going to the cinemas. So, and Bogumbe would be like, nobody would want to watch a Yoruba film at the cinemas, and I'll be like, no, language is just a medium of expression. I remember when we were growing up, we used to watch Indian films and there were no subtitles, but the stories would get us all captivated and we would know what the story was about. I would even be telling that when to shine out they were in Indian language. So I used to tell him that language is not a barrier. But the film went on and there was Real-Time Film Festival and it got an award, and I even won Best Actress for it. The film was that good. So for me, it's always about the story. It's always about the production. It's always about what story we're telling.
Okay, now, Omomi, what do you think was the movie that just capitalized you and take to that? I now just started seeing you in. I saw you in what's that movie? Oloture. Then from Oloture, I just started seeing you in different very big production. Which movie will you classify as being the movie that pushed you? And
Breakout movie, yeah.
It's hard to say, but I would say 3 films. Okay. 3 productions. The first one was Jimmy G, which was a 260 African Magic episode series. And what that did was put me on every family's face every night for a year. And the beautiful thing with African Magic is even when they finished screening it on Showcase, it would go to family, it would go to, I know as far back as last year, so people still told me they were watching Jimmy G, and we shot Jimmy G in 2017. So see how many eyes would have seen Jimmy G. And I played one of the 3 leading characters, so I would say as a household name, Jimmy G did that. Now to the cinemas, I would say Omugwo, which was directed by Kunle Afolayan, and I was the leading female. My mother was Ayo Adesoya, and my mother-in-law was Patience Ozokwo. So I think it was the first cinema movie that I was the leading female, and it did really good at the cinema. Then, so that put me in like the cinema world, in Nigeria. Now globally, I would say Oloture, which was a Netflix original, and it showed in 2020, during the lockdown. So everybody all over the world was at home and everyone could watch it. So I think I would give kudos to those 3 productions.
So,
and most importantly, God.
Okay,
it seems that I'm your number 1 fan, because apart from
number 1,
apart from
Jimmy G,
I've seen all the other
oh,
movies.
thank you.
I'm not actually a TV person because of my work, because I'm always everywhere.
Okay, so you started winning awards pretty early in your career, and not a lot of actresses can say, not a lot of actors can say that.
Would you say pretty early?
Compared to a lot of people who started way before you, many people had not won awards at the time you started winning awards, who had even been in the industry for a longer period. Now, for you, you have told us the number of films that you feel brought you to the world. What film do you feel was your what film do you feel made you fully realize that you are now an actor as a person, personally?
I'm now an actor.
Yes, you have consolidated your stance as an actor.
Really fast.
So, truth is, honestly, when I won my first award, acting as an actor, which was Born Awards, I can't remember the year now, but I think we did it in Akure.
Born.
Yes, Born
That
Awards.
was Born 2015.
Yes, 2015. The first time I was in front of the camera was in 2008, actually. And I was a student then. I used to do productions and everything, but exactly. So I had been doing productions way before, all that time. So, what film? I don't know. I think because I started with stage. So even right from stage, I knew this was what I was going to do. But I know that one production that really challenged me was Olotore, and we shot it in 2018. It really stretched me. I had to make some decisions, some character decisions. For example, I went to a brothel every day for 2 weeks, relating with prostitutes, gisting with them, being their buddies, because if I had to be one of them, I had to understand their modus operandi. Secondly, I don't smoke, but on Olotore, I smoked. I smoked from day one. In fact, my day one on set, I smoked 14 sticks of cigarette. By the time I got to my hotel, I was throwing up. And I remember telling Sharon then, and Sharon was like, yes, my darling, that she feels that, but someone had told her to take milk. Like, the milk did not work for me. And there were days I would get on set, I was already sick. And the director, Kenneth, would say, oh, Mommy, you know what, maybe you should take today off. One day I'll be like, no, just give me paracetamol and give me like a few minutes to rest. Let us go. Because I didn't know how big the project was going to churn out, but I knew how important the story was, especially Linda's story, that it needed to be told, because as at right now, some girls are making that decision and following the Linda path. So if Linda was going to stress me this much, it's fine. If it is one person, two Lindas that I would have to save from going this route, that gives me so much joy. I'm a very hairy person. I wax almost every week, but for Linda, so that I would look gritty, I left my hair. Sometimes when I go back to watch Olotri, I'll be like, God, this hair, because I needed to look as raunchy and as perfect as Linda and as possible. So I would say Olotri opened my eyes to, yes, this is it, and it's going to be tough. Yeah.
So now let's go to the next stage of your career. When stardom came, how have you been able to handle stardom? A lot of people find it difficult. I was yesterday I ran into Terry Henry's documentary. I don't know whether you know him. One of the
yes, I do. He used to play for.
And he said that all through his years when he was playing, and everybody was looking at him and wanting to be like him, that he was not happy, that he was fighting depression all through, because he was trying to be what his father wanted him to be, and he was not himself. So I know how close you are to your dad, because you mentioned you talk about your dad all the time. You understand? And I'm sure that he will be very proud of you now, seeing what you have turned out to. How have you been able to handle stardom? I know that with stardom now, there are things that people who are your friends can do and get away with that you can't get away with. So tell me, how do you think you've been able to cope? And one way or the other, for like 10 years that you've been big in the industry, you've one way or the other avoided anything that could tarnish your name.
So, for me, I wasn't interested in stardom. I just wanted to be a professional actor. Stardom came on that road because, yeah, when you're good at what you do, people appreciate it, hence stardom. My dad would always say that Magbagbi Omeniti Wonshe, one, and secondly, do not ever forget who you are. Never lose touch with Wunmi Dada, the person. Never lose touch with the things that make you you. Because yes, just like people are bankers, people are lawyers, people are journalists, people are bakers, they do these things as their job. The same way I am an actor and this is my job and I'm very passionate with it. As life would have it, this job I have chosen comes with a lot of eyes on you. So does that mean you should forget who you are? So when I'm in my space with my friends, I'm still me. When I see people and they go, oh my God, we love you so much, sometimes it humbles me because this is me just doing what I love to do. And the fact that people love me based off of that, I feel very honored with it. So I'm a happy-go-lucky. I've always been like that and I'm still that way. If you meet me on the street, I'm still the very smiley person that I have always been. I have always been a private person. Even before I became an actor, I'm still a private person. I keep my private life private. I mind my business and literally face my work. I keep a very close circle, my friends who are like my friends. And honestly, even if I wasn't an actor, it would still be the same thing. In fact, if I was not an actor, I'll probably not even be on social media. I'm that kind of person. So yes, the only reason why I have been able to be this person is because I am constantly staying in touch with who Wunmi Dada the person is, not paying attention to the star. And the truth is, I can still comfortably walk on my streets. I can still comfortably walk in places. I still see myself first as a human being. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When did you realize that you are no longer the Wunmi, that you are now Wunmi, a celebrity? Did any event happen that made you realize that?
I don't...
Or do you remember any incident that helped you realize that, no, I can't just move around anyhow?
I know that my friends will sometimes be like, Mommy, you don't know so you be star. Like everybody around you knows that you're a star and you're the only one who you don't know so you be star. So I think one day someone walked up to me. Two instances. There was a woman who walked up to me at ICM who was fighting me because I played Kemi Kaziru in Walter Banger's Married to the Game and she was a bad character. And the woman, she was like, you're not a good person. How can you do something like that? Initially I was like, what did I do? I didn't quite get it until she mentioned Kemi Kaziru. Like, what would you do, Kemi? What would you yes, you're in. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. I'm like, Mommy, no, it's not me. It's the character that I had to play. One thing. But one thing that struck me the most was when one lady came to me and she started crying because I don't know what character it was that I played. And she was at a point where she had suicidal thoughts and she just watched this movie and it literally changed the trajectory of her life and she was crying. And for me it was so humbling. When I left her, I started to cry and I'm like, God, thank you for giving me this gift to be able to bless people. And I always say that acting is passion and most importantly it's a ministry to me. So it was at that point that I'm like, I realized that, wow, the things that I do, the work that I do helps people make better decisions, and that for me was so humbling. But I am still me. I can still walk on my street. And
Before we go to Suspicion and Everyone Loves Jennifer, I'd like to ask you again. As
walked into a place, and because they recognized me, they probably allowed me go faster. Yes, but I was on the queue. Trust me, I was on the queue. What'd you say? Oh, they came to meet me. Oh, ma, please, can you come again? I remember, I'm like, I didn't jump the queue there. But trust me, even in when I go to church or anything, and maybe I'm late and there are some spaces in front, and you're like, oh man, do you want to stay in front? I'm like, no, I'm okay right here. If every human being, the time that I came in, this is where we're gonna sit. That's where I'm gonna sit. Like every human, but yeah, just a few.
Okay, there's a question I wanted to ask earlier when you mentioned your role in Rewrote. I want to take you back a bit. So there's this thing that we see with producers and directors, that when you want to put a star or an actor in a difficult role, you sort of create everything to help that actor become that character. For example, voice coaches, language coaches, like that. So in the case of Oluture, you said that you went to a brothel for 2 weeks straight.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a requirement of the director or the producers of the film, or was it a personal decision to just be better?
It was just me. In fact, the directors and producers, they didn't know that. I just showed up on day one. After the audition, we had a read, and I just showed up. So this was my own work before work, because I believe an actor prepares. Yes. If you see my script before, I always say when you send me a script and we've agreed to do, I always tell them I need a hard copy of the script, because by the time I get on set and you look at my script, you'll be like, I don't understand. It's not acting what to do, because I've written so many things, I've jotted, because I literally create a back story. I create a world for my character. I'm asking myself, so why is she saying this thing? Okay, maybe she was born Kenikon. Okay, why do people perceive her this way? So maybe she used to be rude. Okay, maybe I would create, okay, was she born in like the Ikoyis of this world, or in Mushin, or in Surulere, or she was born in Ajegunle? All these things, they might be minute. Yes, all this, I mean, she was born in Lagos, but it's not enough. Ikoyi baby is different from Surulere. Yeah. Surulere is still privileged compared to Mushin. Mushin is still privileged compared to Ajegunle. Do you understand? And they would all behave a tad differently, except education has filtered in. So, yes, that was just me working my work before getting on set.
Okay, now let's go to 2024. Has been very eventful in Nollywood. We've seen a lot of Nollywood movies come, make impact. This has been the year we saw even new female producers going to the cinema and doing very well. Eniola Jao,
Wunmi
Toriola, and the rest of it.
Auntie Jaye,
you understand? Now the year is coming to an end. It's a lot. It's, to me, it's mixed feeling, especially with the news that Netflix is withdrawing originals from us here. But I want to take that away from me now and just focus on the fact that there are a lot of good movies that we're expecting to see this December. And it has even started dropping. From Suspicion is out. I think Wale Shoyinka's biopic is in the cinema. Ghetto Love
Story
is in the cinema. And in the streaming platform, CC London is there.
Suspicion
is there.
There is Mrs. PJ.
Mrs. PJ is there. And then moving into December, we're expecting to see Seven Doors on the streaming network. Dirty
Jade's film.
You understand? And then in the cinema, that one is, I don't even know how we're going to do it.
I think it's going to be a very fun December.
I've seen Thin Line trailer. I've seen Alakada, Back and Boogie.
Yeah, Back and Bougie.
You understand? I've seen Everyone Loves Jennifer. I've seen The Waiter. And here we are. in all this that we've mentioned, at least you are in two. At least you are in Suspicion, and Suspicion has had very good review. And one of the reasons why I'm happy that Suspicion is having very good reviews is that it's very difficult to make movies that is action and is able to meet the expectation, because most of those who watch those movies are used to watching Hollywood action movies. So, and they don't want to know that Hollywood action movies spend $10 million and you spend less than $300,000 US.
$10 million, ha!
No,
they spend like 50, 100 million.
I'm just saying, and that you spend less than $200,000 US
to achieve the same. To
try to achieve the same. They compare you on the same level.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that Suspicion is having very good reviews.
Thank you.
I want to ask you, when you first got the script, and I like the casting. When I was watching, the first scene where I saw Auntie Tina Umba, I just don't know why. I just was smiling, especially with the way she delivered the role, the way, and then when she took a stand to her dad, the special effect and the rest of it. I want to ask, how did you get the role, and how was it working with Stan, Auntie Tina, and the rest of them on that? It must have been a crazy set. Uzo, who I know is a very, very great guy to be with. How was it working on that set?
So for me, I'm a huge fan of Nollywood. I'm a huge Nigerian story enthusiast. I don't have to be in a film to go watch it. I would rather watch a Nollywood film at the cinemas than Hollywood film, because I know that it's one for all for one. If my industry is good, we're all good. So when Tosin premiered 7, we had never met, but I knew he was premiering 7, so I went and I watched it. So I had heard about him, you know, how great a person he is and a filmmaker he was. When I saw 7 was very different. We had never seen anything like
Great
that.
film.
Yeah, it was a great film. Daddy Shoki, RMD, FA. It was so different. I walked up to him and I said, "Hi, my name is Wunmi Dada. Wunmi Dada, and I would love to work with you." And I was like, okay, thank you. And I'm like, I mean it. So we kept the relationship going, which is to say, in Nollywood, we're really big on relationship. You have to be a people person, you know. So we kept the relationship going. We would talk once in a while, you know, DMs and, you know, chats, comments and things like that. Of course, he saw my work, you know, 1 or 2 times or many other times, and he probably thought Omomi can pull Chisom. So he called me and was like, "Omomi, I have a script that I'm working on and I would like for you to look at it." When I read the script, the first thing I said, "Tosin, who wrote the script?" He said he did. I said, "Are you normal? Like, what?"
You need to ask that question.
Yes, I was like, what was going through your mind for you to have written? Yeah, like, wait, how did you think of a script like this? So apart from the fact that the story takes you, you know, when you say the more you look, the less you see. You don't know what's coming. The conflict just takes turns and turns and turns, and the person you think is the angel is the devil. The person you think is the devil is probably just a victim of circumstances, and blah 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 blah, and all of that. I'm like, how did you think of this? And he was just like, "No, well, you know, if you know Tosin is a man of little words. Oh well, we just thought about it." And I'm like, "Tosin, I am so game. Now this Chisom character, why did she do the things that she did? What exactly happened to her? Why did her life turn out like this?" Oh goodness, it was so interesting playing Chisom. And most importantly, Tosin is so great to work with. He's so amazing to work with. I've told him we have to do plenty other projects. Apart from the fact that he just, even if it takes him 10 years to make one film, he doesn't mind. He will take his time, but he would just make something different. The way 7 was different when it came out is the way Suspicion is different. I mean, this is thriller, this is action, this is juju. We're not talking of, Merlin, and this is juju like jazz. And one of the questions we asked him was, Tosin, this thing that you have written in the script, how are you gonna do it? CGI is not so big in Nigeria. And it was like they've been working, over the years. They've been working over the years, and they've been planning and doing blah 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 and all that and all that. I remember that on set there was a scene that I remember there was a set on set. There was a thing that we had to literally create. Nothing was all the CGI. Everything was literally CGI, and I had to play a role, and I had to pretend that, ooh, I'm seeing this, and I had to. It was really, really tough. And then there was also a scene when we read this, when we got on set and we saw where we were filming. Myself and Stan were like, nah, we don't think that it will work this way. Tosin was like, you know what? I trust you guys. Rewrite it. That's okay. We said, yeah, you guys can work it out. So myself and Stan, we rewrote the scene.
Not the same.
We rewrote the scene, and by the time we were done performing, it was like, yes, this makes better sense. So he understands that art is a collaborative effort. It wasn't my first time working with Stan, with Uzo, they're my G's, and Titina. I didn't meet her on set, but I mean, point out one bad performance, Tina and bad performance. I haven't seen it. At the last Afrif, I saw almost all the films at Afrif, and Tina every day would have like 1 or 2 films. She had like up to 7 films that screamed at Afrif, and all the performances were different and they were amazing. I had to call her that, Mama, this Afrif that it'd be like saying that you get Afrif self, you didn't show up at all. And she was like, I mean, Abuja filming, she tried, and all of that. So the energy was so beautiful. It was very stressful. It was. We shot in 2022. We had some pickup scenes this year, but we just kept looking at what we were going to make. And the truth is, Tosin didn't even think that it was going to turn out an original. He started making it with his own pocket money budget, exactly. But, when something is great and you take out your time making it, everyone wants to jump on it. Yeah.
Okay, now, my next question is about Everyone Loves Jennifer. Obviously, they say that making success of something is easy, but staying on top is more difficult. So I'm sure that there will be a lot of pressure on Funke because of the fact that Tribe did 1.5 or 1.6 billion at the cinema. So everybody wants to see what will come after that.
What next?
Will that make 1.6 billion? Will it
surpass
1.6 billion? So I was one of those who were shocked when I heard that she went back to the Jennifer series, because in my mind, the story was over. What can we see again? We've seen Jennifer 2, we've seen the return of Jennifer.
We've seen Jennifer the series.
We've seen Jennifer the series. But right where you're sitting, the director of the return of Jennifer was here. Everybody loves Jennifer. And he explained to us the story and how even him was fascinated, because he was a co-writer of some of the series, and he felt that when Funke called her for the first time, he also felt
there to milk out of this character.
But by the time Funke was through, he was convinced that they had a good work. So I saw that you guys worked. I think you shot for like 90 days, if I'm not mistaken. How was it working on that set? Was there their air of we want to surpass Tribe of Judah and the rest of it? How was it working on that set?
First thing, I would say that...
and is this your first time working with Funke?
It's the second time I'm working with her. The first time was Finding Me. Okay. So this is the second time.
Finding Me is not out.
No, it's not out yet.
Okay.
I would say that Funke Akindele is an enigma. She's an amazingly brilliant and creative person. Yorubas will say akondainyo. There are people like that, and I think she's one of them. She is so super creative. Sometimes I see the things that she does and how, and the funny thing is she's so blessed that ideas just drop, and you're like, How are these things just dropping in your head? So when I saw that she wanted to make Everybody Loves Jennifer, like everyone, I'm like, what is there to also talk about Jennifer? I mean, you've had like the series that has over 13 seasons, you know? What do you want to do? But when I read the script, by the way, the script was so big, it was so humongous. This is very, very different. People will not expect the trajectory of the story. And the beautiful thing is, every day for her, the beautiful thing is, every day is a day to make it better. So that you read this scene in the script, you read it this way. In the morning, she can just wake up and say, I think let us add 1, 2, 3, 4 to make it spicier, to make it sweeter. And by the time she comes and says, so you guys, I know that you have your lines, but please permit me, we're going to tweak it this way. And you're like, I like it. I like it this way. So one thing that does for us as as actors is that it puts us on our toes, that you have to immediately be able to create greatness within a short period of time. And she is someone that takes good care of you. Welfare is always amazing. She would just say, oh, my darling, how are you? Have you eaten? Do you like the food? Should my chef make it? Okay, you know what? Please ask mommy whatever it is she wants. Just give it to her. And she's not just doing that to me. To everybody. I don't know how she does it. To everybody on set. She pays individual attention to your welfare. It's like how you're feeling. Like she just wants to know that you are 100. You cannot be hungry. You cannot be thirsty. You cannot be perky. No. And one thing is, she's a genius. She has eyes in costume, has eyes in makeup. She has eyes in... So everything, she doesn't leave any stone unturned. You cannot come out and Costumia has given you one thing. She would even say, Costumia, this thing, make the scarf like this, make the skirt. Most of the things and the characters that they've built, even to hairstyle, they are like her ideas, or she builds up on the ideas that the stylists have created. She is just honestly really brilliant. Now to the film, to the story, it's very, very different. It's very, very a story that people are really going to enjoy. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to feel. There is action in this as well. There is comedy in it. There's drama in it. There is everything. Now look at the lineup of her cast. I mean, it has me, has Fowles, has Nancy, has Stan, has Destiny Etiko, has Latif, has Kamo. So you don't know. You're thinking, is this comedy? Is this serious drama? Has Jackie Appiah, the shot in Ghana, and has D-Band. And from the trailer, you can tell that it's just really, really, it's a multi-genre film. And I know people would love it and enjoy it.
All right, now. We're virtually running out of time.
Oh, wow.
And when you're having fun, you don't know where time is going. I want to ask you, this year we've seen a lot of new, young actresses taking up the challenge to tell their own stories. Because, like someone says, it seems that the industry is now dominated by women. If you take 10 of the biggest films in Nollywood now, I can assure you that 7 was done by women. Are you thinking of producing a movie of your own very soon? Is that crossing your mind?
Oh, definitely. I'm already executive producer of some projects. I like to do things under G and all that. But yes, I'm definitely looking at making my own films. I was executive producer of The Other Side, one of the executive producers of The Other Side of the Bridge, which is a boxing movie. It was at Afrif. It stars Demi Banwu, Toby Bakre, Olarotimi, and the beautiful thing is, I'm not in the film. Yeah, so I don't have to be in the film as long as I believe in the course of the story, because I can't be in every film. I can't fit every character. I can't fit every role.
I think you co-produce Life too.
Yes, I was associate producer of Life.
Oh.
For the sessions, I was one of the executive producers of the sessions as well.
Oh, okay. Money is rolling in. then.
Amen. In Jesus' name. We know this our industry, so I receive it in Jesus'
Do
name.
you have a side hustle aside the film industry? I mean, aside everything you do.
Aside entertainment,
Aside entertainment.
I mean, apart from investing, like in financial investments, bonds, and
That sounds
commercial
like big man money.
papers.
So,
But I'm cooking something that has nothing to do with entertainment next year. Yeah.
okay.
But I don't even know if I want to put my face on it. I think I just want whatever it is to just have its life. Yeah.
And you just get the alert.
No, work the work on the G. There's always work before the alerts. Exactly.
So we're rounding up gradually. I like to, when I bring people like you on the program, I like to end it this way. I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are listening to you who want to come into Nollywood, and those who will eventually watch on our YouTube channel. I want to ask you, what advice will you give for anybody based on you've been in this industry? You shot your first. You said you were your first film was shot in 2008.
The first time I was in front of a camera.
You understand? So
I have been on
2008,
stage before that time.
2008 to 2024, a child that was born there is already a big boy.
I'm still a small girl,
You
though.
understand? So, what advice in 1 minute, because we're running out of time, will you give somebody that is trying to come into Nollywood?
First advice I would say is don't come into Nollywood if all you want to make is money. Know who you are. If you're very certain of your talent and you know that what you want to do is show your talent to the world, yes, come in. Then secondly, you have to be disciplined. So forget whatever it is you hear out there and everything. You cannot thrive in Nollywood or any film industry or any industry at large without discipline, because talent is not enough. Attitude is everything. There are so many talented people that their character have killed them. In rooms that matter, people will be like, oh yeah, he or she is talented, but nah, you don't want to work with this person. So never forget the place of talent, the place of discipline, the place of always working on your skill. I'm still learning. Keep making sure that you're becoming a better version of yourself. And never forget God. He's the giver of all gifts. Let him direct your path. I am really big on God. He's the one who created me. Let him do the things that he will do, but put the work. Yes.
All right. It's really been nice talking to you. I've chased you for about 2-3 months to do this. And I'm happy that I never gave up.
Oh, Mr.
This has
Show,
been
please.
An amazing 1 hour of having to talk to you about your career and the rest. And I'm sure a lot of young people who have listened today must have learned something.
I'd like to also say to young people, please never give up. When I started, there were too many odds against me. I was dark, I was short, I was small, and all of that. I'll go for auditions and they'll say, we'll get back to you, and they never got back to me. But I never let that deter me. The only thing is that once you give me an opportunity, even if it is a small role, I will die put. Not die, but I will give it my all, to the point. Walter Banga, I played. It was supposed to be an extra that I was supposed to play in his short film. In fact, they were already filming. I just saw on BBN then. His sound designer, just posted something. And I said, this looks good. I'm very big on the things that I feel is right for me. This looks good. Is there a character I can play? He said, oh no, it's a short film. And the only little character is one waka pass. I said, don't worry, talk to the producer. By the time he said, okay, come and play this character, from one scene he made it 3 scenes. By the time I got on set, all the questions I was asking him, he made it 6 scenes. That short film, when I was leaving, he gave me 3,000 naira for transport fare, because there wasn't really budget for that character. It won best short film at AMVCA that year. It's titled Wages. The next time he was calling me was for Married to the Game as the leading female. And Walter was saying, Mommy, now please now help me take 300,000 naira. Now, it's not because my career had gotten to 300,000 naira, but because he had trusted that this girl is going to kill it. So never give up on your dreams and give it your best at every point in time.
Thank you, Mom. We would have loved to go on, and time is no longer our friend. thanks for coming. And please remember, if you have not seen Suspicion is streaming on Amazon Prime.
Yes. Everybody loves Jennifer. He's coming to the cinemas. 13 December.
Premiere is this weekend.
Yes.
Coming to the cinema.
13th of December.
13th of December. Alakada the Boogie is coming to December.
I think 20th, yes. Thin Line is coming on the 13th as well.
And
the Waiter is coming on the 20th. So it's a Nollywood December. If you're not watching Nollywood this season, please, you better just be reading your Bible.
Thank you so much for coming. Till next week when we come with another guest. Keep watching Nollywood.
Yes.